Summer of 2025 has honestly been a struggle. There's honestly been not a lot of games on the platform for anybody to play. Well, that is unless you like to play Steal a Labubu, Grow a Garden, or Steal a Brain Rot. Tun 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 Shahor Simulator. However, if you're not within the demographic that actually enjoys playing, let's just call it low effort games, Roblox has been dry. The drought has been here for actually quite a while now. But today I'm here to change that. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a list of underrated games that you can actually play right now and that are actually good and that you can spend a significant amount of time in and will probably soothe your soul. And at the end of the list, I even have a surprise game that literally just came out yesterday. So without further ado, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's check out these games. The first game on the list is The Tower. Now, The Tower is genuinely a fun game, especially if you have friends to play with. If you don't have friends to play with, hop in a public server, and you have a bunch of people to play with, make a private server. The Tower is essentially a survival game where there is a sniper placed on a giant tower that aims down on the rest of the map and tries to take out everybody trying to get to the escape point. And it's as simple as that. You have a chance to become the sniper, or you're gonna be one of the survivors trying to escape. There's a bunch of different maps and even tools that the people who are trying to escape can use to distract the sniper, such as flashbangs, flares, smokes, and sometimes you can even activate covers that help you hide from the sniper's line of sight. This game is genuinely fun, whether you're the survivor or the sniper, and being the sniper is not as easy as it seems. There's super heavy bullet drop, so you need to be accurate and precise to actually take out everybody in the lobby. The Tower averages around 1,000 to 2,000 concurrent players daily, and honestly this is a perfect party game to play with your friends, or if you're solo, it's still that much enjoyable. Next up on the list, we have Blood, Sweat, and Pixel. Now this game is genuinely interesting, it's genuinely fun, and I guess it works like a battlegrounds or a battle arena game where there's a bunch of different maps. Players get put into those maps, and every time you die, you actually rotate between weapons, abilities, and things of that nature. And all the weapons in this game are genuinely interesting. The art style and the aesthetic of the game gives like a retro vibe, and it's honestly beautiful. The soundtracks, the vibe, the visuals, and even the combat in the game is all super satisfying. Again, it's one of those games you could play with a group of friends, or if not, just hop in a public server, it's just as good. This game will definitely make you rage at times. However, it's a satisfying rage, especially when you go on a kill streak. Blood, Sweat, and Pixels averages between 400 to about 700 players daily, and honestly, I don't see why, because this game is honestly so much fun. Next up on the list, we have Buckshot Frenzy. Now, Buckshot Frenzy is one of those competitive 1v1 games. I would compare it to like a Russian roulette version of Yu-Gi. Essentially, you have a shotgun and you're playing Russian roulette. There's a chance the shotgun can have some live ammunition inside of it, and there's a chance that there's blanks. And you're essentially going to be shooting the shotgun at your opponent 1v1, and if there's a live ammunition inside of it, boom, and if there's not live ammunition, blank. Now, there's actually things inside of suitcases or items inside of suitcases that you're able to use to actually help you, give you clues and navigate on if there is live ammunition, things that can help you, gaining lives, losing lives. Everything's a gamble, RNG, but it's actually fun. It's competitive, and if you have someone that you like beating in video games, you guys should most definitely play Buckshot Frenzy. It actually has a really nice aesthetic, or eerie aesthetic and vibe to it, but honestly the game is really fun. Buckshot Frenzy averages between 200 to 400 players concurrently, and honestly it should have way more. This is a really fun game. Next game on the list, we have 21. Now 21 is self-explanatory. It is a card game where you have a deck of cards that you can draw or pass up on, but you need to actually get 21. Every time you draw, you have a random chance of actually drawing a different number between 1 to 20, I believe. You're actually able to pass up on your turn, or you're actually able to use some sort of special effect that gives you different abilities that you can choose from to help you win, lose, strategize, better. Let's just call them special effects cards. And your goal is pretty simple. Get to 21 at the end of each round to avoid getting absolutely murdered. 21 is fun, however it's super RNG reliant. You don't really know what your opponent's up to until the last minute, so you're better off focusing on yourself and then throwing in some special effect cards to throw off your opponent. How smart you are is definitely going to be the determining factor on whether or not you live or die. 21 averages about 900 to 2000 concurrent players daily, and you should probably try it. It's definitely a fun game. Next up, we have Illusions 2. Now, Illusions 2 is basically a battlegrounds or an arena fighter where you actually get to pick from a range of different classes and fight with them. Now, the fighting is super satisfying. You could pull off a bunch of different combos. Some classes are definitely better than others. Some are more satisfying to use than others. Some of them are definitely harder than others too. And some of them are super combo reliant, which are some of the best ones in my opinion, because pulling off a combo successfully is honestly wonderful. And that's essentially all you really do. You walk around and you fight players. There are also cards on the ground or special effect things on the ground that allow you to pick special abilities that you can pull off once you get your meter up to 100% or whatever the meter threshold may be. Illusions 2 averages between 1000 to 2000 concurrent players, and it's in a public test, so I don't know how long the game is going to be. You should probably go play it before you can't play it anymore. Next up, we have Blood Debt. Now, Blood Debt is heavily inspired from games like Crimson Shadows, Murder Mystery 2, and Frame, and I guess you could say Among Us. Blood Debt's actually pretty interesting. There's a bunch of different game modes in this game, but the primary one is you can either be the sheriff, the murderer, or civilian. The civilians need to actually complete tasks, and if you complete all the tasks before the murderer kills you, you win. The murderer has a gun or a weapon and goes around killing civilians, and the sheriff needs to go around trying to figure out who the murderer is. Now, the funny thing here is that civilians can actually pick up weapons as well, so the sheriff may actually end up shooting someone who isn't the murderer. And another funny thing is that if everybody wanted to, you could really just gang up on the murderer and kill them, and the civilians can accidentally think the sheriff is the murderer. Honestly, Blood Debt's actually pretty interesting, and again, there's a bunch of different game modes. My favorite would probably be the one where everybody gets guns, gets thrown into the map, and gets to shoot each other, because the guns actually work kind of realistically. Blood Debt 2 averages around 1000 to 2000 concurrent players, and yes, every game on this list is free to play. I didn't think I needed it. Next up on the list, we have Detriment, and Detriment is a 3D platformer. Now, there's a lot of 3D platformers, but this one's actually pretty interesting. You obviously have your running around, jumping and double jumping, but in this game you can also jump off of other walls, and timing is everything. If you mistime your jumps, your movement, if something's even slightly incorrect in the way you move, you will probably fall off the platform you're on and lose progress and have to start all over, or just reroute where you were. Now, Detriment can get a little bit infuriating, however it's actually really fun. I really enjoy it because it's not super simple, but it's not extremely hard at the same time, and the maps are creative and somewhat innovative, and the tutorial's really interesting. I love the art style the tutorial gives. Detriment actually averages around 10 to 20 players on average, you could say 30. This game's super underrated. When you're bored, I definitely recommend trying to see if you can complete it. Try not to rage too much. Next, we actually have Blox Cards. Now, in my opinion, Blox Cards is one of the most interesting card games to ever touch the Roblox platform. Think of it as a combination between Hearthstone and Yu-Gi-Oh! Blox Cards is genuinely fun, and I'm not joking when I say fun. Again, if you enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh!, if you enjoy Hearthstone, if you enjoyed trading card games in general, Blox Cards is definitely the game for you. You can actually mix and match a bunch of different decks, and this game, you can tell there is love and care put into it by the developers, and honestly, I think this game is probably the most underrated game on this list, and I think it deserves and way more attention. And genuinely, if there was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Version of Blox Cards, if it didn't get copyrighted, I think it might be one of the biggest games on the platform. Not taken away from Blox Cards, but you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! is Yu-Gi-Oh! Blox Cards is Blox Cards. The game actually introduces you to the game and how the mechanics work perfect. Battling is super satisfying. If you're actually able to build a deck that combos super well with each other, effects stacking, etc., this game is so satisfying. Unfortunately, a lot of Roblox players are TikTok kiddies, and games like this probably never be as huge as they should be, but Blocks cards, especially if you're into trading card games, I strongly recommend. If no other game on this list satisfies you, hopefully Blocks cards does. Now Blocks cards averages between 70 to about 150 players concurrently, and it should average way more. Next up, we actually have probably the most underrated game on this whole list, At Odds End. Now At Odds End is let's just call it a pirate simulator, a pirate's life. Now, I kind of understand the reason it has such a low CCU, and that's mainly because the game starts off pretty slow. If there was a way to speed up progression, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like it. As well as that, there's not much to do as well, which is probably why it's pretty slow. Regardless, you start off as a pirate, you need to gain money, doesn't take that long, but it's pretty slow again. There's not even a running animation in the game, and you're able to buy clothes, customize your character. You could buy a sword, cutlass, or a pistol, flintlock. And honestly, the pistol gameplay is quite interesting. It takes quite a while to reload your gun, and honestly, the sword combat is actually pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. The sword gameplay is actually interesting. So the game's combat mechanics actually isn't bad. I didn't get to progress to the point where I was actually using ships or cannonballs, etc. But from what I did play, again, it was actually pretty interesting. Now, the only issue is that unless you have a group of friends to play with, there's only one concurrent player as of right now. This game averages between 0 to about 10 to 20 concurrent players, depending on when you're playing. But honestly, I think this game deserves a second chance at life. Maybe add running to the game, add running as a mechanic, honestly. But At Odds End is genuinely an interesting game that I feel like didn't get a chance to thrive. Next up, we have Unusual Force. Now, Unusual Force is essentially literally just a Yakuza fighter. You hop on a pretty small city and you use Yakuza type combat in order to fight your opponent. Now, it is interesting to a certain degree. This one I definitely understand why it's underrated. But after you fight one or two people, what is there really to do? Absolutely nothing. There's not other combat styles you can use, but the combat is pretty interesting. It's pretty simple and easy to pick up. Honestly, it's just a base plate fighter is what it feels like. I know it sounds like I'm talking down on the game, but it's all there really is to it. But again, the combat is actually pretty good. I genuinely think you guys should hop in and check it out. It's cool to play for like 10 minutes. I'm sorry. Let's move on. Before we move on, Unusual Force actually averages between 300 to about 500 concurrent players depending playing, and you should play it. Next up on the list, we have Delusional Office. And the best way to describe this game is doors, but with cool movement mechanics, and you're actually able to kick down doors. Now, Delusional Office can actually be super fun, especially if you're playing with friends. Try to find your way out of the offices without actually going insane, because the entities that are going to be trying to kill you in this game are actually super annoying. And this game is super vibey. I mean, if you're looking for an alternative to doors, I guess Delusional Office is here for you. Next, you have Expedition. Now, Expedition is actually a story-based game where the protagonist of the prologue is somebody who's struggling with deep depression. They had to make a hard choice to give up to end a friendship with their best friend, and the character's actually struggling with some family trauma. This game is actually super sad, and the character is struggling with heavy regret. The game is super slow paced, but the story is actually pretty rich and entertaining. And the best part about all of this is just the prologue. There's more to come, and this game is genuinely beautiful. It is a bit long, but if you enjoy story games and you want something that you can actually resonate with to a certain extent, Expedition is a beautiful game to play. Expedition actually concurrently averages around 40 to 100 players, and I definitely think you guys should give this one a try. Next on the list is High Tide, and High Tides is genuinely super fun. If you can get to a server where everybody's actually going crazy, this game's combat, the guns, the swords, the swimming, everything about this game is super fun. Essentially, there's going to be two sides, and you need to go to the other team's ship, plant bombs, and make the whole thing sink. This game is kind of like a grounded version of Galleons, if you remember that game, or Zeppelin Wars, if you remember that game too. High Tides is super fun. There's also a bunch of different weapons and abilities that you can use that enhance to your playstyle. It's self-explanatory from the gameplay. Honestly, this game is super fun. I genuinely recommend playing it. I think this game should have way more players than it does. High Tides averages between 500 to 1,000 concurrent players, sometimes even more. This game is super fun, and it has a bunch of different game modes too. I definitely super highly recommend this game. And last, we actually have a game that just came out yesterday, and well, it's actually super underrated in my opinion before I started covering the game. And the name of the game is called Roblox. Now, Roblox is inspired from Rogue Lineage, if you've ever played that, hence the name Roblox. And this game is super fun. It's a roguelike and it has permadeath elements, but it doesn't do permadeath in the traditional sense of you die and it's game over. You have 3 lives, and as well as having 3 lives, you have a multitude of different ways to gain your lives back and potentially even have extra lives, depending on your race, etc. Now, as of right now, even I don't know too much about the game except from the showcases that I've seen in the public, and there's even a direct where the developers briefly go over the game's mechanics and what you can expect to see in the game. But this game's been in development for a while, and there is rumored to be a bunch of content. If you're seeing this video, well, you're seeing it 2 days into the future. As of right now, I haven't played it, but when you're watching this, I would have played it for at least 24 hours, and the game should be pretty jumping. So if you're watching this and you want a game that's new, fresh, and has a bunch of people learning the game as we speak, so it's not going to be a bunch of tryhards, everyone's learning the game together, you should probably hop into a stream that's probably happening as we speak on my channel, or just hop in the game. Links for everything is going to be in the description. And that is it for the 2025 underrated game. You guys can play every single one of these games literally right now. Links will be in the description and in the pinned comments, because I noticed when I put it in one place or the other, you guys just seem to not find the link, so I'll put it in both places. As well as that, if you like the video, you found it informative, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell. That would be truly appreciated. And if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go play some Roblox. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.